Hello and welcome to this Microgrid Knowledge special session where we'll be announcing several exciting new initiatives. My name is Kevin Normando and I am the publisher here at Microgrid Knowledge. Today, we are announcing the formation of Think Microgrid, which is a collaborative advocacy and regulatory initiative backed by Microgrid Knowledge and a group of leading energy companies involved in microgrids. This organization is staffed with a team of deeply experienced and respected leaders in energy policy and advocacy work. Like many of you, we believe the microgrid industry is at an inflection point. The technology is certainly proven. However, most governments are still trying to figure out just how microgrids will be incorporated into their energy infrastructure. And the timing for this organization is perfect. With a new administration in Washington and a dynamic policy such as the FERC 2222, there's a pressing opportunity to pool resources, create tools, and launch a coordinated messaging on the value of microgrids. ThinkMicrogrid.org will make sure that microgrids have a voice at the table. But don't take it from me. Let me turn this over to Cameron Brooks, the Executive Director of Think Microgrid, so you can learn a little bit more about what is Think Microgrid, why is it needed, and how is it all going to operate. Cameron?
Thank you, Kevin. My name is Cameron Brooks, and I really could not be more excited to be here with you today to launch Think Microgrid and to be stepping into this role as the executive director of this new policy coalition. I wanted to just take a couple of minutes to share with you some of the thinking about what we're going to be doing and really what drives and what motivates this new policy coalition as at this point at what Kevin describes as a real inflection point. And so right now, we think there is a great need to have a unified voice and an opportunity for companies to be able to pool their resources and provide this focused collaboration to really complement and help coordinate some of the existing efforts that are out there. So we're not looking to replace what is out there, but to really enhance policy discussions. And we come at it with a goal of stepping in first to be able to do some education. In my experience, policymakers and staff at all levels are very eager to learn about the state of the art. And I think microgrids have an incredible story to tell right now about the role that they can play in providing resiliency to the electric grid, in bringing equity, and addressing some of the key challenges that arise from climate change. So we're going to be doing evangelism work to go out and really convert people and help them understand what role microgrids can play at this critical time, and then to engage in thoughtful discussions. We have a vision for what we think microgrids can do in this world, but we also come at it from a very pragmatic point of view to be able to say, what are some of the things that we can do first? Where do we go from here? We're a diverse coalition with a broad range of business models, of technology approaches, of sizes of companies, but we want to take this full spectrum where we share these core values around wanting to see microgrids achieve scale, work with the market structures that exist in different states and jurisdictions, and think about how can we address some of these key challenges, both on the technical side and barriers that have been created from a century of legacy regulatory policy that need to be either dismantled or modernized to help create a great productive role for microgrids. We think this is a great time. There's political enthusiasm coming from the federal government, in the administration, at the legislative level, within the agencies, and that goes down as well to the state level, where there's ongoing activity looking at microgrids and an appetite from regulatory staff and other stakeholders to think about what can microgrids do and how can they help us achieve some of the policy goals that have been set. There's also a great body of research that we can tap into and use to promote this idea that microgrids are a critical solution. Really, I would say microgrids are one of the key parts of the neural network of the grid. I don't come into this alone. We've got a great partnership with the Microgrid Knowledge team, with my own advisory company, with research coming from the E9 Insight team, and with a pool of advisors that are both giving us guidance, but ready to step in and help us engage as we launch new initiatives and think about how we bring the voice of the customer into our conversations, how we look for opportunities to convene people. And I just think it's an amazing time right now. In addition to just some of these high-level policy objectives, there are also some very practical benefits from joining Think Microgrid around getting policy intelligence, being able to amplify our voice, and to build access and build a network of trust where we can be trusted advisors. So I really thank you for the confidence that you all have put in me and in this vision that we have for Think Microgrid. And I'm really looking forward to engaging with all of you as we go forward. Thank you again, and you'll be hearing from us.
Thank you, Cameron. Next up, we're going to hear from several of the founding members of Think Microgrid as to why they are joining this important coalition. After that, we're going to open it up to questions from the audience. So if you have any questions, please type them into the polls tab and we'll answer them right after these brief testimonials. Thank you.
In the past 30 plus years of being in this industry, I've never seen a market as we have it today. It's almost like a perfect storm. And much of it is driven by climate change. We're seeing the impact on sustainability challenges, on resiliency. These lengthy weather events are causing much disruption and a very costly impact to businesses and society in general. And the time is now for us to take action and help promote government policy to help make the market and jumpstart the engine. And very much like other industries such as solar and wind, once the machine gets going, it won't need as much the policy because it will just take a life unto its own. Thus the call for action. And thus the reason we believe that joining Think Microgrid is a great move for everyone in this industry to promote the ultimate goal of creating a marketplace that recognizes the value of resiliency and sustainability.
My name's Zach Bradford. I'm CEO and president of CleanSpark, and we're excited to announce our support as a founding member of Think Microgrid. At CleanSpark, we believe that now is a more critical time than ever in the microgrid space. Our focus is on providing technology and software solutions throughout the industry, specifically focused on software for optimization. Now, we think that this is more critical time than ever because we're reaching a new phase of electrification on the power grid and the amount of load due to largely electric vehicles and other sources. With our aging infrastructure becoming ever more fragile, we think it's important that policymakers, stakeholders, customers, that they all understand the benefits that microgrids can bring to them and how they can enhance their lives and well-being.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Boswell. I'm Vice President of Power and Infrastructure Projects at Concord Engineering. We're very pleased to be a member of this organization, an organization that I think can have a unique role in allowing many of us stakeholders to have a voice, shall we say, at the table for areas that we don't always speak to, and that is perhaps policy at both state and federal level, and also perhaps to have more of a concerted effort and voice towards some of the regulatory and tariff level issues that either help or perhaps even hinder the build out of microgrids. And I think that there's going to be some really compelling and important meta trends perhaps in this industry, particularly around sustainability and faster penetration for sustainable and renewable and other types of distributed generation solutions, which can help clients and utilities sort of leapfrog large-scale development of renewable energy and sustainability. Microgrids can have a terrific role in that. There should be many sort of both market and regulatory vectors. And it's going to be important that we be able to speak and so that everyone can hear our points of view.
Microgrids are becoming such an important part of the energy transition, increasingly so as resiliency becomes a critical coping skill, really, when it comes to severe weather and volatility on the grid. And we think that microgrids deserve a lot more support in the market. We're excited about joining Think Microgrids. It's time for microgrids to have that voice to educate policymakers, the media, and many other stakeholders around what microgrids can do in environmental improvement, in resiliency, enhancements, in cost savings. All of those things are what make microgrids so special. And we think that this industry coalition of members and interested parties is necessary for us to continue to get that message out into the market.
PowerSecure, being the leading microgrid provider in the industry, executing over 2,100 microgrids in its 20-year history, is extremely excited about the opportunity to be a founding member of Think Microgrid. We think that this coalition of companies coming together in this industry to promote microgrids to policymakers, to regulators, and to provide an education to those key stakeholders in our industry that can help drive and promote microgrids in a more meaningful way. I think microgrids have a key place to provide resiliency to end consumers, and to do that not only coupled with just resiliency, but also return on investment that's going to be driven by the opportunities to participate as microgrids into market benefits and market programs to drive an enhanced offering and solution. And also, microgrids have a key element in the utility space to provide capacity resource. So we see that microgrids have a key place in the energy industry in the future. And we're very excited about the opportunity to use Think Microgrid as the basis in which to communicate the great value that a microgrid can provide to the industry.